This is the story of Leo, a boy from a small town. A boy who faced many doubts. People looked at him and saw a future without much hope. But Leo, in his quiet way, held a dream tighter than anyone knew. He proved that what people say about you does not have to be what you become. Leo grew up in Willow Creek. It was a town where everyone knew everyone. It was also a town where everyone thought they knew everyone's future. From a young age, Leo was different. He wasn't loud or sporty. He spent his time drawing strange machines. He read old science books. He often sat alone, lost in his thoughts. His school teachers found him hard to understand. He struggled with many subjects. He often seemed to be in his own world. When they asked him questions, he sometimes couldn't answer. They said he lacked focus. They said he was too slow. They said he would never keep up. These words, though meant to help, made a shadow follow Leo. His classmates often teased him. They called him names. They laughed at his drawings. They didn't see the complex ideas behind them. They only saw a quiet boy who didn't fit in. Leo often ate his lunch alone. He spent his breaks in the library, hiding among the books. He found comfort in the stories there, stories of heroes who were also misunderstood. At home, things weren't much easier. His parents loved him, but they worried. They worried about his future. They worried about how he would make his way in the world. They tried to push him towards easier paths. Paths where he would not stand out so much. Paths where he would be safe. But Leo's mind was always drawn to bigger, harder questions. One day, the school held a science fair. This was Leo's chance. He had been working for months on a project. It was a device that could clean water using sunlight. It looked strange. It was made from old pipes and plastic bottles. But Leo believed in it. He knew it could help people in places without clean water. When he showed his project, the other students laughed. The teachers looked confused. They didn't understand how his messy-looking device could work. They saw the flaws. They saw the rough edges. They didn't see the genius. They gave him a low score. They said his idea was not practical. They said he needed to stick to the rules. Leo felt a deep sadness. He felt the weight of everyone's doubts. He felt like giving up. He packed his project away, his shoulders slumped. He walked home slowly, the sun setting on his hopes. That night he thought about quitting, giving up on his dreams of inventing. Maybe they were right. Maybe he was not meant to succeed. But as he looked at his drawing of the water cleaner, something shifted inside him. He remembered a quote from an old book. "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." He decided he would not let their words define him. He would define himself. He kept working on his water cleaner. He learned more. He fixed the parts that didn't work. He made it stronger. He made it better. He didn't show it to anyone in Willow Creek. He worked in secret. He worked alone. He worked with a quiet, burning fire. After high school, most of his classmates went to college. Or they found local jobs. Leo did neither. He took a bus to the nearest big city, Los Angeles. He had only a small bag and his water cleaner device, carefully packed. He knew he needed a new start, a place where people didn't know his past. A place where his dreams could breathe. Life in the city was hard. He worked small jobs to survive. He cleaned windows. He delivered food. He saved every penny. At night, he worked on his invention. He used the city's public libraries to read more. He watched online videos to learn new skills. He met other inventors in online groups. He asked questions. He learned. He grew. He also found a community of people who believed in making a difference. He learned about places in the world where clean water was a daily struggle. This fueled his purpose. His invention wasn't just about science anymore. It was about helping people. It was about giving hope. Finally, after years of hard work, his water cleaner was ready. It was small. It was strong. It could clean dirty water using only sunlight, and it worked. He named it AquaPure. But he still had no money to build it or sell it. He needed help. He went to many companies. He showed them AquaPure. He told them his story. But they saw his lack of a college degree. They saw his humble background. They said his idea was too simple. They said it couldn't work on a large scale. They heard the same old words he heard in Willow Creek. "You'll never succeed." One day, he met a kind old engineer named Dr. Elena Rodriguez. Dr. Rodriguez had spent her life working on water solutions. She listened to Leo. She looked at AquaPure. She saw not just the device, but the spirit of the young man who created it. She saw the years of quiet determination. She saw the potential. Dr. Rodriguez believed in Leo. She gave him a small space in her lab. She introduced him to other smart people. She helped him get a small grant. With this help, Leo started to build more AquaPure units. He sent them to places that needed them most. To small villages. To areas hit by natural disasters. The results were amazing. AquaPure worked. It changed lives. Children in remote villages had clean water for the first time. Diseases decreased. Hope began to bloom. News of AquaPure spread. It was a simple, cheap solution that actually worked. Soon, big organizations and governments wanted AquaPure. They wanted to partner with Leo. They offered him money. They offered him resources. Leo's company, AquaPure Technologies, grew quickly. He hired engineers. He hired scientists. He hired people who, like him, wanted to make a real difference in the world. Leo, the boy everyone said would never succeed, was now the CEO of a global company. His inventions were helping millions. He traveled the world, not as a silent, misunderstood child, but as an inspiring leader. He spoke at global conferences. He shared his story. He encouraged others to believe in themselves, no matter what others said. He often visited Willow Creek, not to show off, but to give back. He helped build a new science lab for the school. He started a scholarship fund for students who thought differently. He wanted every child in his hometown to know that their unique ideas were valuable. One day, he visited his old school. His former teachers were there. They looked at him with surprise. They saw the confident, successful man he had become. They remembered their old words. Leo smiled. He held up a small, working AquaPure unit. It was a reminder that sometimes the greatest success comes from proving everyone wrong. His journey taught him that true success isn't about fitting into a mold. It's about breaking free from it. It's about listening to that quiet voice inside. It's about pushing through every doubt, every setback, every word that tried to hold you back. Leo, the boy everyone said would never succeed, had not just succeeded. He had redefined what success truly meant. He had built an empire, not of wealth alone, but of hope. An empire built on a simple truth. The strongest dreams are often forged in the fires of adversity, and the most unlikely heroes often come from the places where no one expects them to shine.